Hello students, here we have gathered to study statistics. I, Shrikant Joshi, welcome you to Nagesh Karasi Orchid School to study online. Today we are going to study the topic statistics. Children, we have already studied this topic in our previous classes, in which we have studied part by part many things, and that study has been enhanced further as we came up in above classes. So today, starting with the chapter statistics, we know very well that we come across a variety of informations in the forms of facts, numerical figures, tables, graphs. These are provided by newspapers, televisions, magazines and other means of communication. They may relate to cricket batting or bowling, averages, profits of a company, temperatures of a city, expenditures in various sectors of a 5-year plan, polling result and so on. Means there are many examples on which we can have the study of statistics. These facts or figures which are numerical or otherwise collected with a definite purpose are called data. What is data? These all facts or figures that we have collected with a definite purpose, with a specific purpose. Data is a plural form of the Latin word datum. From where this has come? This is a plural form of the Latin word datum. Of course, the word data is not new for you. Just now I said we have studied statistics right from the previous classes. It is not today we are going to study it or for the first time. It is not like that. So you have studied about data and data handling in earlier classes. Our world is becoming more and more information oriented. Yes, we know very well that more and more information is required, and that too with a very specific accuracy. Very acute information we require. Every part of our lives utilizes data in one form or the other. So it becomes essential for us to know how to extract meaningful information from such data. What is the thing? The main thing is that the meaningful information should be extracted from such data. This extraction of meaningful information is studied in a branch of mathematics called statistics. What is statistics? It is a branch of mathematics. It is a branch of mathematics. The word statistics appears to have been derived from the Latin word status. From the Latin word status, meaning a political state, a state, and in case of, in bracket it is political, a state. In its origin, statistics was simply the collection of data on different aspects of the life of people. What they have said, please understand, in the origin, in the starting, in the beginning, statistics was simply the collection of data on different aspects of the life of people, useful to the state. So over the period of time, however, its scope broadened, it became big, and statistics began to concern itself not only with the collection and presentation of data, but also with the interpretation and drawing of inferences from the data. What is the main thing? It is not only the collection and presentation of data, but also with the interpretation and drawing of inferences. That is very important. We are coming to some conclusion. Drawing of inferences from the data that is collected. Statistics deals with the collection, organization, analysis and interpretation of data. What is statistics doing? It is dealing with collection, organization, analysis and interpretation of data that we have collected. Okay, so the word statistics has a different meaning in different contexts. Let us observe the following sentences. May I have the latest copy of Educational Statistics of India? I like to study statistics because it is used in day-to-day life. In the first sentence, statistics is used in a plural sense, meaning numerical data. These may include a number of educational institutions of India, literacy rate, rates of various states, etc. In the second sentence, the word statistics is used as a singular noun, meaning the subject which deals with the collection, presentation, analysis of data as well as drawing of meaningful conclusions from the data. In this chapter, we shall briefly discuss all these aspects regarding data. Let us proceed further. Collection of data. Let us begin with an exercise on gathering data by performing the following activity. Let us do a small activity. What? Collection of data. How to collect it, how to gather it. Now the activity will tell us what to do. Divide the students of your class into 4 groups. Allot each group the work of collecting one of the kinds of data. What they are saying? Make your class in a group. How many groups you are preparing? 4 groups. So allot each group what? The work of collecting one of the following kinds of data. Please understand this. One of the following kinds of data means the data that we are going to collect is of different type. So what is the first type? Heights of 20 students of your class. Second kind, number of absentees in each day in your class for a month. Third type, number of members in the families of your classmates. And the fourth type, heights of 15 plants in or around your school. Have you understood, students? Why they have mentioned as kinds of data? Because these 4 are different kinds of data. In the first one, they said that heights of 20 students of your class. There you are collecting the height. In the second, they are saying number of absentees in each day in your class for a month. In the third kind, they are saying number of members in the families of your classmates. And the fourth one, heights of 15 plants in or around your school. Let us move to the results. What the data has been collected. Now what happened? Did they collect the information from each and every student, house or person concerned for obtaining the information? See what they are saying. What they have done, let us move to the results that they have gathered and what it is. How did they collect the data in each group? Yeah, that is a big thing. How did they collect the data in each group? Did they collect the information from each and every student, house or person concerned for obtaining the information? Did they get the information from source, from some source like available school records? See my dears, heights of 20 students of your class, it is possible that that particular group is calling 20 students and measuring their heights. Number of absentees in each day in your class for a month, are they going to ask each and every student that whether you are absent and on which particular day you were absent? Not like that. You have to refer to the school records for that. Number of members in the family of your classmates, you are going to their house or what? No, you are going to ask your classmates. Heights of 15 plants in or around your school. How you are going to do it? Approximately from the records. Or you are going to measure the height of the plants as you are going to measure the height of the students, of your classmates. Are you going to measure the height of the plants? Is it possible? So, how did they collect their data? This is the main thing. How did they collect their data? Did they collect the information from each and every student, house or person concerned for obtaining the information? Did they get the information from some source like available school records? In the first case, when the information was collected by the investigator herself or himself with a definite objective in her or his mind, the data obtained is called primary data. Very important thing, my dears. It is known as primary data. Why it is known as primary data? Because it is been collected by the investigator. What they have said, it has been collected by the investigator herself or himself. It is herself or himself. It goes in that way. So, when personally you are going to collect the data, it becomes the primary data. Now, in the second case, when the information was gathered from a source, means what? A very simple thing, absentee of the students. Are you going to ask each and every student in a particular month, how many days you are absent, which was that particular day, what was the date and all? No. So, from where you are going to collect it? It is from the school records. It is from the presentee record that is present with the class teacher or with the concerned teacher. So, in the second case, when the information was gathered from a source which already had the information, stored the data, obtained is called secondary data. What happened in the presentee record or in the catalog? What happened there? Already the absentees and presentees are recorded and you people are going to gather from there. So, such type of data is called secondary data. Such type of data is called secondary data, which has been collected by someone else in another context, needs to be used with great care, ensuring that the source is reliable. Yeah, that is very important. Somebody else has collected the data, somebody else has recorded. So, you have to ensure it that the source is reliable. Those who have recorded it, they have done it very carefully, which is very important. Else, if the data is wrong, the inferences will be wrong, the conclusions will be wrong. So, now let us see what we have understood from this. It is exercise 14.1. What the first question says, give 5 examples of data that you can collect from your day-to-day life. What they are saying, give 5 examples of data that you can collect from your day-to-day life. This is the first question. And what is the second question? Classify the data in question 1 above as primary or secondary data. Whatever data you have collected, the 5 examples of data that you are collecting, classify it as primary or secondary data. Okay, now let us see what example we can take. Some examples of data that we can gather from our day-to-day life are number of students in our class, number of fans in our school, electricity bills of our house for last 2 years, election results obtained from television or newspaper, literacy rate figures obtained from educational survey, heights of 20 students of our class, maximum temperatures of the days of a particular week from television, number of members in the families of your locality from a record, and distances from the school of the homes of 10 students. Please see, these are the different examples of data that you can collect from your day-to-day life. Number of students in our class, yes, I can count it. Number of fans in our school, yes, I can count it. Electricity bills of our house for last 2 years, yes, I am having with me because it is of my house. Election results obtained from television or newspaper, it is not who I have done it, it is being collected by television or newspaper, I am just getting it directly, means it has already been recorded. Literacy rate figures obtained from educational survey, are you going to do the educational survey? No way. Whatever the educational survey has been done, you are just going to take the data from them. Heights of 20 students from our class, yeah, this is possible for you individually. Maximum temperature of the days of a particular week from television. Yeah, from television means it is not you are going to record the temperature. It is from television, you are going to collect it. You are going to have it. Number of members in the family of your locality from a record. Yeah, from the record it has been. Distances from the school of the homes of 10 students. You are going to ask them. You can ask them. Proceeding further. What is the second question? Classify the data in question 1 above as primary or secondary. What is primary data? You know very well. When the information was collected by the investigator herself or himself with a definite objective in her or his mind, the data obtained is called primary data. Means it is personally you are going to collect the data with a specific objective in your mind. These types of data are original in character and collected for the first time for their own use. Yeah, these are the original things. Above mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9 are the examples of primary data. Let us see what are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9. 1, number of students in our class. 2, number of fans in our school. 3, electricity bills of our house for last 2 years. 4, election results obtained from television or newspaper that you have collected. And 9th one, distances from the school of the homes of 10 students. You are going to ask them. So what happened? These are all primary data that you have collected. Now let us come to the secondary data. When the information was gathered from a source like newspaper, television or some other records. What is the information gathered from? It is from newspaper, it is from television or some other records which already had the information stored. You are not doing anything here personally, you are not going there to collect the information, it has already been recorded there. It is called secondary data. This information is called what? Secondary data. Such data has been collected by someone else in another context, needs to be used with great care. Now when this secondary data was collected, when these people, these newspapers, televisions or some other person who have recorded this information, this data, did they had in their mind that you are going to use it? No, it was for their own interpretation, it was for their own context, it was for their own need. It was collected by someone else. So to be used, this data is to be used with great care. These data are collected for a purpose other than that of original investigator. This, what happens? These data are collected for a purpose other than that of the original investigator. So above mentioned 4, 5, 7 and 8, let us go above. 4, election results obtained from television or newspaper, literacy rate figures obtained from educational survey, maximum temperatures of the days of a particular week from television, and number of members in the families of your locality from a record. Yeah, all these are nothing but secondary data examples. I hope you are understanding it, that what is primary data and what is secondary data. Primary data, the investigator herself or himself with a definite objective in her or his mind, the data is collected, the data is obtained, is called primary data. Is called primary data. Now what about secondary data? When the information was gathered from a source. Yeah, in case of was gathered from a source. Is it clear? In case of secondary data, it is gathered from a source and we are using it for other purpose. Whatever they had gathered for, they had their own purpose and we are using it for the other purpose. So this is what we have studied regarding the type of data. Proceeding further, presentation of data. Yes, we now just now what we have understood, how the data type is we have understood, and what it depends upon, it depended upon how it has been collected. On that type the data type was present, whether it is primary type of data or whether it is secondary type of data. Now the next step, presentation of the data that we have collected, how to present it or how it should be presented, which is very much important. As soon as the work related to collection of data is over, the investigator has to find out the ways to present them. Why to present them? In a form which is meaningful, easily understood and gives main features at a glance. What is the main thing? Why, how to arrange and what is the conclusion behind that? Which is meaningful, which can be easily understood and it gives what main features at a glance. Let us now recall the various ways of presenting the data through some examples. Now let us recall this. Now see here, example 1. Consider the marks obtained by 10 students in a mathematics test as given below. Was the example marks of 10 students they have obtained in a mathematics test. So what are the marks? 55, 36, 95, 73, 60, 42, 25, 78, 75, 62. The data in this form is called raw data, as it is only recorded what are the marks. So the data in this form is called raw data. By looking at it in this form, can you find the highest and the lowest marks? Yeah. Is it possible that suddenly you can look into that, you can tell? You have to search in them. What is the highest value? What are the highest marks and what are the lowest marks? Yeah. Which is the value highest one? Which is the value lowest one? So you need a little bit of time to search the maximum and minimum. It will be time consuming. So what we have to do? Arrange it in ascending or descending order. This we have studied right from our very childhood classes. Ascending order or descending order. So it has been arranged in ascending order. What is the meaning of ascending order? It is from the lowest value to the biggest value. So now you can see 25, 36, 42, 55, 60, 62, 73, 75, 78, 95. Now very quickly you can tell the lowest marks are 25 and the highest marks are 95. Why it was possible? Because we have arranged the data in a particular order. Presentation of the data in a particular order is very much important. From this raw data we have arranged it in a ascending order and very easily we got our answers. What is the next part in this? The difference of the highest and lowest values in the data is called range of the data. What it is known as? The very important thing. What? Range of the data. Range. What is range? Highest value 95 and difference means minus we are doing, lowest value 25. The difference between them, what is that? It is 70. So 70 is what? Range of the data. Presentation of data in ascending or descending order can be quite time consuming, particularly when the number of observations in an experiment is large, as in the case of the next example. The very important thing in statistics, that why these many techniques they are teaching us, why these many methods they are showing us. The reason is very simple. It depends upon the volume of the data. If the data is very small, if the data is very less, the method of arranging it or finding our inferences, our required answers, the methods can be different. But if the volume of the data is large, if the data is big, then what it will happen? The things go on changing. How to calculate the things? We have to think some other way, some other method. So, presentation of data in ascending or descending order can be quite time consuming. When it can be time consuming? It can be time consuming when the data is more, when the data volume is large. But if the data volume is less, it is okay, it can work on. So, we have to see what exactly we have to do when the things are big. In this case, we have to go for the next example. Now, you can see here, consider the marks out of 100 by 30 students of a class 9 of a school. Again, these are marks. These are obtained out of 100. Number of students are 30. Means what happened? Here the volume is increased, the number of students are increased. So, arranging this in the ascending order or descending order, it becomes a tedious job for us. What should be done? What can be the alternative method? We have to think on this. So, for this, we have to switch on for the next study, and in which we have to find out some new methods. We have to see that how we can handle this data. For this, currently whatever we have studied, we shall just take a brief review. This review is for, before concluding this session, the type of data we have seen, the kinds of data, it is primary data, secondary data, and when the data can be meaningful, how it can be easily understood, what are the main features that we require, and what is raw data, and if the data is very less or in a small amount, what are the methods that we can use, and lastly, what is a range of the data. These are the things that we have studied, and we are just looking to example 2, see how the data has increased here and what we have to study for that. So, today in this session, we shall conclude here at this point, and just a suggestion from me that you go through these things very minutely, which are very much important. So, take care of yourself, and here we shall conclude the session. In the next session, we shall continue further. Thank you.